All right, welcome back, family. All right, so next lesson here is key components of a resume. That is, what are the major components that are supposed to be on your resume? Now, these are not just the major ones, these are actually the things that should be on your resume. So you don't go outside of these things. So the first part is the contact information. The contact information. So you include your full name, your phone number, your email address, and your LinkedIn profile. Now let me quickly go through this. The full name should just be, you can just limit the full name to two names: your first name and your last name. Your first name and your last name. Your first name, that is your name. Your last name is your surname. All right, so just limit it to that: your first name and then your last name. So you write that in bold, and that is going to be like the heading, like the subject, like the heading of your resume. So you don't put you don't put resume as your headline. No, you don't do that. All right, so your full name, then your phone number following by your phone number. Now, the phone number that you're including there should be the phone number that is accessible at any time. And I would advise that you don't put two phone numbers, they just put one that is accessible. There's no point of putting two phone numbers. They just put one that is accessible, both especially for calling and for text messages. All right, then the email address. Ensure that you put a professional email address. You don't put things like let's say your name is David Kevin. You don't put Dave Kev112 at gmail.com. That is wrong. Just put David Kelvin at gmail.com. All right, just write your name in full. If at all, by the time you're creating your Gmail, and probably some people have used that name sequence before. I mean, you can just put probably a number or thereabout, a number or two numbers at the end of it, but do not short, abbreviate, and all those things like that. Do not make use of your nicknames or something like that. Make use of the same name that is your full name. So just make your full name your email address, and then ensure that you put your LinkedIn profile there. You see, we are in the days where it is not just about your resume alone. It's about a lot of things is also attached to it. I mean, I want to know what, if I want to employ you, I want to know what other things that you are doing what other things you are doing outside your resume alone. All right, so just put your LinkedIn profile there. That's a professional platform, by the way. So just put it there. And if you do not have a LinkedIn profile, come on, just go ahead, create a LinkedIn profile. It is just like creating a Facebook account as well. Just create it and optimize it and all right. So the next thing is a professional summary. All right, that's a brief statement summarizing your career goals, all right, and your key qualifications. So when you're writing your professional summary, it is not just number one. Some people have argued about it, but then I still prefer that you don't make use of personal pronoun when you are writing your professional summary. And by the time you are doing it as well, ensure that number one, you talk about who you are, what you've done, and what you are going to do in the organization. See the reason you have to tailor your resume to a particular job application. So you don't use one resume for every job offer that you are submitting your resume to. No, you don't do that. You tailor it down to that particular job application that you are envisioning to get employed in, right? So just put that there. Talk about yourself, talk about the things that you have done. I mean, the key things that you have done before, and also talk about what you are going to bring to the table in a very in a summary. All right, in a summary. All right, so the next thing here is the work experience. So your work experience, you list your relevant job experiences in reverse chronological order. Now, there are so many different types of resume out there, but then the best that I'm going to recommend for you is this chronological order. Always go for this. Always go for this. In fact, even if you are a designer and all, I still recommend that go for chronological order. That is the best one, and that is what is easy for every hiring managers. And also, I must bring to your notice that all these resumes, sometimes they pass through something called ATS, that applicant tracking system. They pass through those things. An applicant tracking system is not a human being, it's a machine. All right, so just most of them are just like they just go through the chronological order thing, all right, just to save any form of story, I mean to avoid any form of story that touches. All right, so the next thing is your education. Yeah, of course you put your education there, but then ensure that you don't put your primary education, your secondary education, your tetra. Come on, some people will even put different. I mean, they've gone to primary, they'll put primary there, secondary education, they'll put their polytechnic, then they will put the university. I mean, that's unnecessary. All right, just put your university. I mean, that is actually all. But then if you still want to put one more, then you can just put your high school, I mean your secondary school there, and that is all. And that is all. I would really advise that you just put your higher institution there. I mean, that's all. That's all. Okay, just make it as brief as it is. I mean, nobody actually want to know more about your education and stuff. As a matter of fact, uh hiring managers, they are not really focused on this educational part. Yeah, they're not focused on this educational part at all, at all, at all. More of it is on skills, on certification and awards, and on work experience. All right, so that's that about the education. Then the next one is your skill. Highlight relevant skills that match the description, I mean the job description, and that's the reason you don't just apply for jobs. You first of all read about the job description, read about it very well. I believe that I've talked about it already, so just go through the job description very well, understand it, and pick out the relevant skills, all right, that is applicable, that matches the job description, and put it on your resume. All right, and of course, do not lie about it. List the skills that you know that you can do. Those are the things that you should, highlight on it. All right. So the next one is certifications and award. And let me quickly say this: your skills are very important, so please go through it very well. So the next one is certifications and awards. Now, in this case, you list any relevant certifications, courses, or awards you've received in the past. You list everything out. I mean, that are, of course, that are relevant to the job description that you are applying for, right? Ensure that everything that you're doing, everything, your skills, your certifications, your awards, even your experiences, you are not submitting an application for a job of let's say customer service representative, and then in your work experience there are a lot of web designs experience. I mean, web design jobs in your experience. I mean, that is out. That's not what you are, trying to get employed for, right? So just ensure that everything that you're doing, ensure that you narrow it down to the job description that you are applying for.